Hey guys, it's Rusty here from Kubota Tractor, the Tri-State. We have something really exciting here for you guys today. We have the first look at the Kubota SVL65-2s, brand new to the end of 2025, going into 26. So first off, this 2S, it's going to be very similar to its Dash 2 counterpart. It just has a few upgrades to it, but spec-wise, it's going to be a really similar machine. Comes in about 3,000-pound ROC at 50% of tip load, still the 68 horsepower, 4,600 breakout force, and about 8,600 pounds. All that staying really close to what it was before. We're just seeing some creature comforts are upgraded, and they've pulled a lot of the upgrades from the Dash 3 models into this 2S model here. So now moving on to the lift arms of this unit. So this has a vertical lift just like all of our skid steers, including our stand-on skid steer, our SCL1000. Has a dump height of 118 inches at the hinge pin. But something new this has is Kubota's KSR, which is Kubota Shockless Ride. That is an option on these that you can get. And what that means is that it turns these lift arms into shock absorbers when turned on. So if you're carrying a really heavy load on rough terrain, it's going to absorb a lot of that force up and down, so it's going to make your ride a lot smoother. And this also has the advanced multifunction valve on that. So what that means is if you're lifting and tilting your bucket or doing multiple functions at once, this is going to be one of the most efficient machines out there. We're really known for that on our tractors, especially on our tractors, on our loaders. You can lift and dump and do all of that at the same time. Most other manufacturers you cannot. So again, that's carried over to our skid steers, and because of that, it's some of the smoothest operation as well as most efficient operations on these machines. So moving on to some things that Kubota is more well known for. We have our high ground clearances in the middle there, 9.2 inches. And if you've ever been around skid steers, you know some of those things have no ground clearance at all. So that's really nice. You're going to tear up less stuff with that. Also, our hydraulic over hydraulic pilot controls. Most of our competitors out there have electric over hydraulic pilot controls, which means, you're sending an electric signal to a solenoid. There's going to be a lot of delays. With these hydraulic pilot controls, when you move, this machine moves. You can be a lot more precise. There's no delays, there's no lags, and it's a lot less jumpy. We're one of very, very few manufacturers in this industry that still have hydraulic over hydraulic pilot controls, and that's one of my favorite things about this machine. All right, so now we're moving on to the cab portion of this unit, which is where you can see most of the differences. So starting off, we do now have front and rear LED lights, which should have came a long time ago, but now it is standard on all of these. And also the sliding front door that I just showed you guys, it's pretty well what Kubota is famous for. We're one of very few competitors in this market with this door, and to me, it's a safety thing. You know, if you get caught somewhere you shouldn't, and you can't lower your boom all the way, and a lot of our competitors, you can't get out. This one, you can open up at any point with the boom up. You can also talk to people if they're close to you. I just really like that door. It gives you a lot more options, and you probably won't break it as often too, hopefully. But moving on to the actual interior, this has a optional air ride and heated seat with it from factory, and with this being the loaded out version, this one has it. Also the hydraulic quick coupler we have on here as well. But standard is going to be the 7-inch LCD display screen, which I'm going to have Riley show some footage of that. Most of these options here are from the Dash 3 models. A lot of that, like the air ride and heated seat, as well as the screen is going to be very similar. Same thing with the backup camera. This one can have up to 51 different passwords, unique passwords for a crew of guys that you have running this machine and whatnot. Gives you a lot of vitals. It also has a built-in Bluetooth radio and built-in backup camera, as well as all kinds of other stuff. We also have some tactile buttons here that are rubberized instead of those clunky switches that we had previously. It's a lot nicer to feel, and I think they'll hold up really, really good. We have our multifunction grips here, which explain everything right there, nice and easy to use. And our cab sizes, I think, are an underrated talking point. We have one of the roomiest cabs in the market, one of the roomiest doors, because some of these doors, they get very narrow at the feet or just narrow in general. This is a rectangle and stays that same big width the whole way through. And also just our cab roominess, have all kinds of room to move around, and this is our smallest cab we have. Also, I really love our fold out bars here as compared to the overhead bars. I really like this one a lot better. It's a lot more comfortable to feel. You don't have to slam it down. I'm just a big fan of this and how Kubota does their interiors. But yeah, this still has the lift up cab like it did before, and a lot of the stuff is going to stay very similar. But Kubota changed little things. Again, pulled most of them from the Dash 3 models, and I think that's going to make this unit just where it needed to be. This unit also pulls from the Dash 3, even though it's a hydraulic over hydraulic machine. It has track adjustments, so you can adjust from low, high, medium, wherever you like the track response to be. You can adjust it for as slow or as quick as you like it. It also has the auto downshift feature. So we all know when you're in rabbit mode trying to go through a turn, kind of wants to bog, it wants to jump. It's not very fast. Well, this machine will automatically downshift for you through the turn, and once you start going straight again, it will upshift. It makes you very, very efficient. It makes this a very quick machine. I mean, this cab is really, really nice. Again, this is our smallest cab, and it's still very roomy compared to some of our largest competitors. So last few points I want to hit, this still does have the tilt and lay down radiator that opens up our engine bay. That makes it really easy to work on. And we also retain the welded and integrated undercarriage and mainframe. So we're not going to have a lot of exposed hosing like a lot of our competitors do that are going to cause it to break lines and things like that and be really exposed to the elements. And I love that. Again, keeps it from tearing up a whole lot of stuff, very important stuff, plus that ground clearance. It's a really nice undercarriage Kubota has here. But to finish this off, this is a very, very nice unit. I really think Kubota hit a lot of the upgrades that this unit needed. It was starting to lack. It was starting to feel its age a little bit now, but this is a fresh look on this machine. It's still the beloved 65 at heart, just with a few of those creature comforts that we're really expecting nowadays and going into 2026. It's about what's expected. Air ride and heated seat, KSR, screen with a Bluetooth radio built in, backup camera, things like that. I think that's going to make this unit a very, very competitive unit in its market. And yeah, you guys should come check it out. So again, we're here at Florence, Kentucky, and Alexandria, Kentucky at Kubota Tractor, the Tri-State. Give us a call if you guys need anything. Hope to see you.